A teenager tries to drown a black child while calling the black child George Floyd. Put it up full mass. The story is going to boil your blood. A 14-year-old white child whose identity is John S. I'm withholding that last name because he's still a minor, even though the prosecutor decided to expose it. The 14-year-old faces charges in an alleged racially motivated murder attempt involving another youth. The suspect threatened the victim with a stone, called him the N-word, according to prosecutors. The incident occurred in Chatham, Massachusetts at Goose Pond. You're looking at it on July 19th. The teenager was at the pond with two others, whom he reportedly told he could not swim. Reports say he was given a life jacket to support himself, and with this precaution, he got into the water, and the boys he had just met that day with those children. According to the DA, once in the water, the juvenile defendant proceeded to pull on the victim's life jacket and submerged him underwater 4 to 5 times, causing the victim breathing distress. The third juvenile laughed at the victim during the attempted drowning and referred to the victim as George Floyd, a press release said from the DA. The assault persisted as the 14-year-old swam beneath the black youth, attempting to seize his feet and submerge him again. They were trying to kill him. Prosecution asserts that the bullying ceased when the victim cried out for assistance from the shoreline, prompting a bystander to leap into the water, rescue him, and bring him ashore. The teen was indicted by a grand jury on attempted murder and assault with a deadly weapon charge.
Now that's a cautionary tale to teach your children as black people that everybody ain't their friend. I feel that we as black people, we teach our children to love everybody and to be so naive, because we are a naive people, to think that, racism doesn't exist, that we live in a society where, we no longer have to worry about things like that. If you ever thought that, well, you've been proven wrong, right, with this video, with this incident, with this brother, this boy that was almost drowned by a racist white boy, calling him George Floyd and making fun of him. Could you imagine the kind of household they grew up in? Now in the story, he had just met them and he trusted them. So that's what I mean. You gotta teach your children to have their guards up. And most importantly, I said this in another video, teach your children the history. Teach them what time it is between black and white. Teach them so they can understand that everything ain't always sweet. I don't feel that there's anything wrong with that. I think about all of the stories with these black people that were like, token blacks, that something end up happening to them and nobody knows what happened to them. They be at a party and next thing you know, they dead, drowned up under the pool and nobody knows what happened. That's what would have happened to this young man. When those boys was questioned, they wouldn't have known what happened to him. He was lucky that somebody heard him and came and saved him. But had he drowned, no one would have knew what happened to him. They would have just said he couldn't swim and he drowned. And so the mind state to trust everybody, I believe a lot of black people, they are in that mind state. They're in that mind state that we are all one. Martin Luther King came and there is no more racism. And these are the type of people that when something racist happens to them, or they get treated wrong because of the color of their skin, or they get called the N-word, they are shocked to the core. They are hurt and they're shocked and they can't believe it. And to a certain extent, that is your fault, because I feel like you should know your history. You should know what time it is, and you shouldn't be so damn naive to think that racism doesn't exist. When these incidents happen across the country all the time, every day. You just had a mass shooting with somebody that hated black people. So this thing ain't gonna never go away. You gotta teach your children their history. They have their guard up. They gotta have some intelligence about moving and dealing with people in the world, and understand that there are people like this. There are children like this. There are little demons and little devils just like this that are ready to do something to your child. And when you get that call, nobody is going to be able to tell you what happened. And I pray that that don't ever happen to you.